mentioned after the game there was a couple of third down plays in particular that you weren't too happy about, and you guys have done so well in so many numbers. Pass defense overall is tremendous. Third down splits, a lot of them are phenomenal.
Yes.
Third and 10 plus, you guys fall off, and the disconnect is enormous. Like,
Mhm.
you work that hard to get there, and then teams are completing these passes and converting. What can you guys do to correct that on third and 10?
We just have to be more intact. Don't settle for anything. Don't think just because we're ahead of the chains that they still can't get in. We just have to be able to focus on all the little things at all times, and that's just not playing with a chip on their shoulder at that time point. And it falls off on every single one of us. Just letting it go or certain stuff like that, and just practice harder. And we focus on those little things to make sure that they don't happen. Because I know the D line, they love that, and if they were most of the times on those plays, they're right there next to the quarterback. So as long as we just hold our coverage just for that little longer, they'll make the sack instead of giving up that catch.
What's the difference of, is it a technique thing where obviously you're probably playing a little bit less press on third and long, so if you're set back in coverage and more in space, that either is it hard to get in phase? Is it?
It's just more just being aware of the sticks and where we have to get to, because sometimes you can just be off on third and long and just start backpedaling and not realize you just passed the sticks. He stops right there. Quarterback throws a very good ball, and now he got the first down. So it's just being aware of where exactly the sticks are, so we can make sure to correct that.
Talking about Javon and just how pivotal he's been, and how a lot of great plays that he's made so far. How much do you know of Javon beyond what he does on the field, about just Javon the person and his background and all that?
Javon's one of my closest friends here. I actually was his host and everything. Every time he came up here to visit, I hosted him, took care of him and stuff like that. And then now he's my starting safety and the leader of the secondary. He's very amazing. He likes anime. I don't know if you guys have realized that yet or not. He posts about it all the time. He loves it. He's from Oakland. He loves to claim it. And then those are like two major things that I think all the fans should know about him. In his free time, he's watching anime. So if we have any fans that are big anime fans, just reach out to him, and I promise you he'll be happy. Or make him an anime edit, and you probably will win him over.
Did he ever tell you about growing up in Canada?
Yeah, you said growing up in Canada. Yeah, he told me that. That's how he actually had a connection with Hayward, because his dad coached Hayward in the Canadian League. So he tells me about that stuff all the time. He was like, you know I'm Canadian, right? I was like, yeah, I know, fine.
He claimed the NBA title with the Raptors this past year.
He took credit for it. He was supportive. He was very supportive, but he also was supportive of the Warriors too, because they're from his area. So he was kind of a little split in between.
Yes. Rivalries, claims, being from SoCal, and him and the Warriors? You a Lakers fan at all? Or?
I'm a very big Lakers fan. I'm Kobe all the way till I die. So Lakers are gonna always be in my blood. I bleed golden purple at all times. Big Kobe fan. I'm very disappointed they traded. I was a big Lonzo Ball fan too. I was very, very, very disappointed in the Lakers. They're trading away Lonzo. They could have got rid of everybody else but Lonzo. But
Not the brow, though. Look at Anthony Davis.
I like Anthony Davis. I like LeBron. I like all of them. But Lonzo's from the Inland Empire, just like I am. I seen him play multiple times in high school. The first actually time I ever seen him play, he played against my high school team. Guy made a three and like kind of went down court and gave the three symbol. And he laughed and came back and hit a Dirk Nowitzki one-step three. I was like, oh my goodness, like this dude's gonna be amazing. But yes.
This could be the best pass offense you've faced this year. Okay, what's kind of been the lead up to this? And Montez is obviously a very experienced quarterback.
Very experienced. He came in here as a freshman and he put on a show. I was a senior in high school when I seen that. You have LaVisca, one of the best receiver prospects coming out this year. You have KD Nixon, very fast, very underrated. People don't really give him as much credit he deserves. And then you have Brown, senior, worked hard, been under great receivers. Definitely something that came from Southern California that I actually personally know. So I know that he's got taught and his time has came, and he's been taking people deep all the time. So like that's just something that we have to do. And one thing that I noticed is Montez trusts all his receivers. Definitely those three. So he's willing to, if you're covered, he will still throw the ball to him, and he has that connection to where he still puts the ball in the perfect spot for them to be able to catch the ball. So we just have to be on our technique and be able to make sure, one, hope our D-line gets the pass rush there, because that makes it an easier job for us, but just make sure we do all the little things right to make sure we are on top of our game.
Excited, maybe a little bit more just by facing a little bit better passing.
Yes, I love the competition. You can ask any of my teammates, ask anybody around me. The one thing that sparks Thomas is competition. So anything when it comes to being a big-time receiver, or even if somebody that's not a big-time receiver. I'm just ready to play anybody, anywhere, anytime. My mom can line up, my granny can line up. Shoot, I'm going to lock them up too. Me and my sister, she was talking mess my freshman year of high school, and I went out in the middle of the street, and you can ask her, and I strapped her up in the parking lot telling her, you're not going to get open on me. I don't care what you say. So it was just stuff like that. I'm very competitive no matter who it is.
Of all the defensive coordinators you've played for, what makes Andy different?
He's very understanding, and he came into the perfect team for his scheme. Like everybody benefits from this. The corners aren't just man corners. We can play zone, and he's added that into us. Our defensive line are athletic enough to be able to move and shift the way we have been able to do. Our linebackers can go downhill at all times and into depth. We were able to have the one thing that I feel he has this year and that we have as a defense this year is we have depth and no drop off. We have players coming in and not dropping off. Yeah, from the outside linebacker position to the D line to the secondary, it's just no matter what position you go to, there's a two deep, and that's what makes our defense so good this year, I feel.
Troy called him really relatable, and he also said that he's young, so that helps him become so relatable. Is there a specific story you can think of between you and Avalos?
Well, Avalos, the first story that always pops up between me and Avalos is my sophomore year. Well, my freshman year, actually. It was after my freshman season. But he came up to Roosevelt, and he was just like, that's the high school I went to. He said, you're a very good kid. He was like, and he came back the next year. And now he was recruiting our safety. He's there now at Boise State, Evan Tyler. And then he came for an in-home visit, and he came to see our practice, and he told me, he was like, Thomas, he was like, I'd like to offer you a scholarship. So Coach Avalos is the first person to ever offer me a scholarship. So that's kind of a big thing in my eyes. And he's from my area, so we always just talk about being from our area and how stuff goes along.
One word to describe him, what would it be?
Energetic.
Offensively, with Colorado, it's pretty aggressive, and there's a lot of trickery kind of involved. They like flea flickers from their own 5-yard line and wide receiver end around passes. I mean, how much more do you have to be on your toes against an offense like this, against maybe someone like Stanford, who you sort of know what you're going to get, and they're not going to throw anything different at you the way Colorado might?
Well, I feel Colorado's, out of all the teams that we played this year, is a tweener. They don't do a lot of motions, but they also do a lot of trickery stuff. They're going to give you a lot of straight-up looks, but they also aren't. They have a very good imagination of not allowing you to know what they're going to do before they do it, and they try to surprise you. They love the element of surprise. So it's just being able to stay on our P's and Q's and make sure everybody's locked in at all times.
Does that make it a little more enjoyable during the practice week to maybe kind of see like some crazy stuff that the scout offense is running?
It's always amazing because then you just like in practice, and then as soon as you want a days off or go here or there, next thing you know, you just got popped on a double pass. So you just got to make sure you stay on everything at all times.
If Laviska's healthy enough to play, are you kind of looking forward to that challenge?
Very, very looking forward. I'm looking forward to anybody that steps up there. Laviska, but they also have two great receivers in Brown and Nixon that I already said. So those two are a handful. They're still just adding Laviska to it. It's crazy. I've said this last year about N'Keal Harry, but with him and the ball in his hands is amazing. He's a running back playing receiver with the ball in his hands. He does a lot of stuff after the catch, and that's the very scary part about him. So the only way you can stop him is not allowing him to get the ball or gang tackling him and doing all these other things, because he's a problem. He's a very big problem.